views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to the BronxNet studios, located right here on the beautiful campus of Lehman College. Each week, our team of creative students and passionate professionals shine a light on the people, stories, and events throughout our community. I'm Christina Lane, and I would like to welcome you to this edition of the Week in Review. Hello and welcome to the Week in Review. The Lehman College Art Gallery unveiled their latest exhibit titled Alien Nations, where 18 different artists were featured. Reporter Taylor Carter tells us more.
The Lehman College Art Gallery presents a new exhibit named Alien Nations. This exhibit features 18 artists, each using art to display how people are alienated from society, whether it's due to social, economic, or political views. Under the management of Bartholomew Bland, this exhibit provided the artists platform to showcase their pieces in a unique setting.
Today's event, we are celebrating the exhibition Alien Nations, which is 18 contemporary artists who are looking at different ways that we are alienated from society. And we think the show's been in the planning stages for about 2 years, but given everything that's going on in society today, I think we're right on target, and the artists are really speaking to a lot of concerns that people have today.
Each artist had the opportunity to speak on their work, describing what type of alienation they were trying to show. Included in the gallery are pieces that relate to soldiers and their experience with fighting in war. One artist, Makia Lowe, shared what inspired her to create her piece.
Inspired me was to make people more effective in the community, to make them feel better and known to what they wanted to pursue. When I first created a postcard, it made me remind me of troops in the warfare and what they are dealing with right now. They're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. When I came here, it's just an example of unity with beyond the Allied Nations art gallery.
With 18 artists on display, the vast amount of work displayed shows a true dedication to bringing their artwork to life. One of the larger displays, located in the rotunda of the gallery, was constructed by artist Richard Leon, whose art shows the struggle between the individual versus the group.
I got the idea in a dream. It was about 4 years ago. In the dream, I was out at sea, and I wasn't sure where I was exactly, but I realized I was on an aircraft carrier. I could smell the salt water, I could feel the spray, and then I looked up to the right, and I saw these airplanes being refueled and eventually taking off. But on the side of the fuselage, you could see these large heads on the planes, and I figured, well, I should try to make this into artwork.
This alienation exhibit is still currently on display at Lehman College and is open for the public to view. Expression through artwork is only one of the many platforms a person can choose to partake in, and the power of interpretation is solely in the hands of the viewer. Who knows what exhibit may be next at the gallery, but it is safe to say this one definitely will connect with the public and open minds to the society that we live in. This is Taylor Carter reporting for BronxNet.
Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. hosted a gospel concert in hopes to connect the old and the young generation through song and God. Reporter Shanice Powell has the story.
The first ever Bronx Gospel concert held in the Co-op City community seeks to unite all Bronxites, old and young, through music. The positive energy of the event made this goal attainable.
It's helping the young people to understand that they can relate to the older people and vice versa. It's helping them to be able to recognize that we're all under God's headship.
Bronxites can expect to gain a sense of community at the end of this gospel concert experience.
Spirit of camaraderie, spirit of unity, because that's what we're striving for. The borough president is very, very intent on keeping us together as people of the borough.
Audience members and volunteers were as excited for what was to come as they held high expectations of the event.
The energy and the vibes and networking with people and just being able to enjoy myself.
Maybe a message through song, maybe a testimony. to see the enjoy themselves and enjoy myself as well.
Also in attendance were entrepreneurs who came out to join the celebration, some of whom endorsed products that helped spread the gospel.
And you know, some people are afraid to share the gospel, so we figured that on your t-shirt we can share the message of that God is good.
The name of my company is Sassy Design. Today we have chokers and they vary. The prices are 10, 8, and 6.
Shifting our focus over to the onstage activities, artists sang and danced to the energy of the audience who relished in the experience.
Oh, it was so great. Like, I just kind of got the whiff of the crowd, that they were so accepting and so welcoming, and I just felt their energy. So as soon as I got on stage, my nervousness automatically turned into adrenaline, and I felt like with that I was able to channel my songs and actually get into them and hit them hard, and they were so well receiving and they loved it, so I was really happy to be part of that.
The Bronx Gospel Concert successfully brought the community together. Under the positive influence of gospel music, a sense of unity was achieved. From BronxNet, this is Shanice Powell.
The Ancient Order of Hibernians recently gathered at the Rambling House to view the screening of their new documentary on the organization's rich history, successful present, and optimistic future. Marissa M. White tells us more.
In 1836, a group of Irishmen stood firmly before St. James's Church in Lower Manhattan. Their goal? To defend the Catholic Church from an anti-immigration political party determined to burn down the building and the belief system of its community. This brave act founded the Ancient Order of the Hibernians. Over time, the Ancient Order of the Hibernians grew in size to become the oldest and largest Irish Catholic organization in the United States. Its mission remains dedicated to honoring Irish heritage, people, and life here in the United States.
We are a fraternal organization and we need to take care of business, like what we're going to spend money on for journal ads and which organizations we're going to honor with events that are coming up. We are busy all year. We have our annual dinner in November. We have a communion breakfast in March or April. We're active in raising money and then giving as much of that money away that we can to really good groups in the community that serve both the Irish and the non-Irish.
BronxNet Television recently produced a documentary capturing the extraordinary history and experiences of its members. A screening was held at the Rambling House in the Wakefield section of the Bronx, where Irish pride still remains.
I love the way it came out. I really love the way you guys edited it. I think you put out a finished product that is something that we can show across all of America, across the world, and show who we are.
I thought it very nice.
How did we tell your story?
You told it very good. You told it very good.
The sceneries and to see my mom and dad and all the family and just the sceneries and the music and the speeches, it was lovely.
So an old Irish proverb says that good friends are like four-leaf clovers, lucky to have but hard to find. That's not the case for our friends here at the Ancient Order of Hibernians, who have found friendship, warmth, and camaraderie in this amazing organization. Reporting for BronxNet, this is Marissa White.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Hello and welcome back to the Week in Review. Grandparents around the world held a panel for all the mentors and mentees at Mercy College. Let's take a look.
Right on the campus of Mercy College, both adults and youths are coming together to address the challenges that are facing today's generation.
Grandparents around the world has been a part of this great ordeal for over 12 years during productions as well as mentoring with the teens. We also have a great chance to do services to our community. We have forums on the second Thursday of every month. We do have a walkathon for the teens and the adults to get together, as well as the seniors.
They started off the program with a panel discussion, and one of the panelists was not exactly the age we were expecting. and this is how he feels about it.
It's weird, but then again, it's a plus, and it helps other people see how my life is and resourceful, and how other people's lives can impact me also.
Well, the great thing is, my mentor brought me into the organization, so I wanted to follow the same track and graciousness that he gave me. So it gives me a way of playing forward for some other young person that could possibly use my skills.
After the panel discussion, the mentors and the mentees went into smaller groups to get that one-on-one.
You get to know the person well, like you might have something in common with them. Like basically, like he just give you like a background of himself, like tell me about his, like his experiences. He told me like to do what you love and not basically like if you want to do something, make sure you like it and stuff. And then that's really inspiring to me.
I thought it was interesting how it got the youth to become engaged as well as the mentors. Some of the subjects that were very good. It kind of gave an insight in terms of what's going on in some of the minds of the youth and which way they would like to go. And those who may not have had any of this information in their head will probably have some now in the future.
I think this is just a good opportunity to meet young adults who are looking into different fields and helping them out in order to, you know, assist them with where they want to go, their future, and how they actually can get there.
Good, because you have somebody there to, you know, guide you on to being what you want to be in the future and helping you.
The youths were also encouraged to focus on their education and to go to college. Representatives from the college was also there.
As alumni ourselves and students here, we can give them that real experience of what it's like to be in those classrooms. So it's important to let them know about our personal experiences as well at Mercy College. We hope that they take all this information and hopefully one day decide to come to Mercy College. And, you know, just getting to talk to them about college and Mercy College in general is a great feeling. And, you know, it excites them and gets them ready for what's next in their lives.
We are better doing it together. For BronxNet, I am Katie Loy Knight.
The Van Cortlandt Track Club held its 18th annual Urban Environmental 10K Challenge. Sabrina Vargas tells us more.
The Van Cortlandt Track Club held its 18th annual Urban Environmental 10K Challenge in the historic Van Cortlandt Park to raise money for youth programs and trail maintenance. The rugged terrain of the trails made for an interesting run, but the runners were up for the challenge.
This year, we're going to be running something extra special because of the 18th annual, and so we're going to be going really off the regular trail and sort of not creating new trails because, of course, we don't want to damage anything, but taking like the little rabbit warren trails and jumping over logs and going through puddles. So it's not just the 5-mile normal cross-country course, but it's 6 miles of really tough, way up the hills, way down the hills.
The creator of the race, Dennis Burns, explained how the runners come back every year to race in order to preserve the grounds and trails of the park and also to get the community involved.
This is a really beautiful family local race, and how it started is that Con Edison wanted to sponsor a race that would represent the environment and their caring for the environment. So they came to me and asked me if I would like to put on a race, and at that time was the president of the Van Cortlandt Track Club, and I said sure.
As the runners prepared to run the 6-mile double loop course, they mentioned how excited they were to run in the heart of the Bronx.
Well, first of all, it's Van Cortlandt Park, which is a beautiful, wonderful park with many trails that people don't even know about. And in reality, we kind of want to keep it a secret. But it's just beautiful being able to run back there and jump over the bushes and then trees and get a little mud on us. It's just really connecting to nature, and it's a wonderful race.
After the completion of the race, it was time for the half-mile children's race, where the children had their time to shine.
Good. It was good. I'm tiring.
Longtime sponsor of the race, Lloyd's Carrot Cake, was there to present carrot cakes and muffins to the top 3 runners in each age division.
It's always been a really nice event. We look forward to it every year, except for that one year where it rained profusely. But Van Cortlandt Track Club has been a wonderful supporter of Lloyd's, and we have been equally as supportive to them as well.
The race ended with many smiles and sore muscles, but the preservation of the environment and the dedication to the community is what keeps runners coming back every year. I'm Sabrina Burgess for BronxNet.
The Bronx Borough President unveils a plan to make the Bronx better, and reporter Aaliyah Herndon tells us how.
With the new developments being put in place, the Bronx is pushing to become the popular borough it once was. This panel discussion consisted of a multitude of investors who have made recent changes throughout our community. The targeted topics most of these individuals represented involved healthcare, housing, and job distribution.
Montefiore and other of the healthcare systems are looking to improve their facilities, increase their delivery systems. It's better to keep people out of the hospital, provide as many facilities in the local communities, and that's how you maintain good health, and it's how you maintain cost management. So these things all work together.
Well, I love housing, and I love mixed use. Okay. So that's what I like to see, and different tiers of income levels. I really believe in integration, and I think that's very important. I think it's very important not just to have, although I believe in affordable housing for seniors in one building, but I like to build buildings that are 1 and 2 bedrooms that are affordable still for seniors, because it's important for seniors to be integrated into a multi-generational building. So that's what I'd like to see more of.
The purpose of the panel discussion was to have the investors, along with the rest of the Bronx community, to get a visual of the projects to come. In order for these projects to go as planned, money is needed. Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz goes in depth on how important it is to have this supportive system put in place.
This is a networking event. It's a great way for people to tell their story as to why they chose the Bronx in order to develop. What is it that they developed? And we saw a diversity in that, right? We saw office spaces, we saw hotels, we saw commercial strips, we saw facilities for the medical field. We see plans now with markets.
The Bronx Borough President, along with others in the panel, are striving for these plans to pave the way for the Bronx to keep it hot like it's always been. This is Aaliyah Herndon for BronxNet.
The RK Academy's Parents Association held a film festival to showcase films produced by their students. Reporter Taylor Carter has the story.
RKA Academy, located in the Riverdale section of the Bronx, held its first film festival put on by the RKA Parents Association. This festival opens all students at the middle school, high school, showcase films recorded and produced by students, with the main theme of each of their films focusing on success and struggles of teenage life.
My film was about digital footprints, and I felt it was very important to share that because I do see it going on daily. And people aren't aware that, you know, it does stay there and it can impact your life. You know, it could really hurt you.
The festival included a panel of judges who judged and awarded prizes to the students in various categories such as Best Film and Best Cinematography. One of the winners, William, discussed his film The Blob and how he created his filmmaking and brought his idea to life.
Like, I started this year. I actually have been making stop motion stuff since I was younger, but The Blob vs. William was my first real film. The Blob was done with stop motion, and then I composite him into where I am standing, so I'm fighting nothing, and then I composite him.
The success of the event at RK Academy couldn't have been laid and planned out without the support of the parents and the teachers. Having this different outlet for children to be recognized was important to the Parent Association. Coordinator Amy Carr shares how important this festival was for the children and its success.
I was really, really pleased. We were worried at first because the films were slow to come in and we thought we might not get enough. But, the momentum built and we had enough that we felt like we could go ahead with it. And I thought the turnout was great. The kids seemed really excited, and I'm hoping that what we do from here is just build it into something bigger.
With the strong turnout of parents, teachers, and student films at the festival, it is clear this will be the first of many that RKA Academy has every year. The importance of recognition in different creative outlets is an important factor in student development, and these future filmmakers definitely felt it throughout their auditorium. This is Taylor Carter reporting for BronxNet.
Hey, I'm Darren Jaime. I'm the host of Wednesdays Open right here on BronxNet Television, Channel 67, and also on Verizon Files, Channel 33. Want to invite you every Wednesday. You get an opportunity to see what's going on in the world of news, current events, debates, public information. That's what happens here on Open every Wednesday. So we invite you to join us right here on BronxNet Television.
If you want to stay in the know about the latest happenings en español, check out Diálogo Abierto, BronxNet's own Spanish show, Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. on Channel 67. The latest in news, arts, culture, politics, and what's going on in your neighborhood. Diálogo Abierto, the best way to stay connected in Spanish. See you there. Te esperamos.
Hello and welcome back to the Weekend Review. If you missed any part of this week's show, be sure to check out all these stories and more on BronxNet.org, Fios Channel 33, or Optimum Channel 67. And don't forget to stay connected with us through social media. Hostos Community College held a screening for their film Sosua, where people gathered to see the work that documents the actions of the Dominican Republic. Let's take a look.
Dice el presidente Roosevelt, una conferencia en Evian. 32 países del mundo. 32 países del mundo para ayudar.
It's a piece of history in the Dominican Republic so many know too little about, and there's great hope that will change. A special screening was held at Hostos Community College of a film called Sosua, the 1938 sanctuary of Jewish refugees in the Dominican Republic. With dignitaries and supporters there to see the work that documents the actions of the Dominican Republic, allowing for some 100,000 Jews to settle in Sosua, the tribute was an emotional one for Consul General of Israel, Dani Dayan, whose family at the time fled to Argentina.
I came here as the representative of the State of Israel, the Jewish nation, to say thank you to the Dominican Republic and through the American Dominican community. I have very close friendship with many of in this community. I am myself the first Hispanic Consul General of Israel in New York, actually a native of Latin America.
A supporter of the film, while a state legislator, Congressman Adriano Espaillat, says this provides evidence that through creating partnerships, good can come.
It's important that this history is told and this story is told over and over again so we don't forget, particularly during times of fear and apprehension in our nation and unfortunately an uptick in anti-Semitism. This story must be told. It's a story about the human spirit and the disposition of people to work together.
Another supporter, New York State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, his senior advisor and Deputy Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, Lillian Perez, was there.
The reason why we have a very successful tourism industry, it's not so much because of the buildings and the beaches and the hotel. Yes, they're beautiful, they're wonderful, but the warm welcome that our culture, our food, our music, well, the most valuable asset we have is our people. And when you come looking for some reason, we always open that door. And when the Jewish community came, we did not care they were different, that they didn't speak the language, that they were being prosecuted from all these different horrific events in Europe. We lived with them, we went to school with them, they intermarried, as you saw in the documentary, and today they honor and thank us for that wonderful event. And look, the United States has a lot of successful business leaders because they had an opportunity to live.
And for Associate Dean for Community Relations, Ana Garcia Reyes, involved in the research from the start, and President of Hostos Community College, David Gomez, for them a shared moment of pride.
We're quite proud to be a part of this critical project. I think the history of what happened to many of the people that fled Europe during the Holocaust and the Dominican Republic critical role in that is not something that is widely known. It's something that for those of us of Latin American descent, we need to be very proud of, need to celebrate, and as the speaker said today, it's a history that we need to preserve.
I think that it's very important to share the stories and to keep that in mind with the thinking that it's important to embrace each other and support each other and be humane. This is the history of Jewish migration to the Dominican Republic.
And coming as a guest, Mimi Islas, who works as a chef, grew up in Sosua. She talked about how, as a child, both communities learned to appreciate each other's culture and food.
I grew up in Sosua, and it was a wonderful time back then. We had a lot of different culture, and I do remember like my friends were in school were lighter than we were. Then later on, I think because we were so young, we didn't realize there were Jews that migrating to the Dominican Republic. We are a family of cooks, so their food influence in our meals. So they still make it back in Dominican Republic. In Sosua, they still make, they call it pan judío, like a Jew bread. And like every time I go back, I have to have some of it.
More screenings of the film have been scheduled. If you'd like more information, you can contact Ana Garcia Reyes at 718-518-4313. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams and our very own BP hosted a Gifted and Talented Task Force hearing. Let's take a look.
Schools in the Bronx and Brooklyn fail to offer gifted and talented classes designed to push students academically. Borough Presidents Eric Leroy Adams and Ruben Diaz Jr. host a hearing where parents voice their concerns on the evident issue.
We were hoping to hear stories from the parents and bring their insight and their solutions, as well as hearing what were some of their difficulties in trying to get the best education for their kids.
Having to travel miles from their homes in the Bronx and Brooklyn takes a toll on parents who wish to have their children partake in gifted and talented classes.
I hear from many parents that because they are not able to travel those long distances, that their kids are not living to their fullest potential.
Another problem faced is the busing. The idea of having their children travel such long distances far from their reach leaves parents feeling uncomfortable.
Not feel comfortable putting them in the gifted and talented program in a District 9 school in the Bronx at that time.
Why?
Because we lived too far from where the gifted and talented program was in the school.
I had to research which school is best for my son. He would have to be bused. And I had similar concerns about putting my baby on a school bus. When you see so many things on the news about the things that happen on school buses.
The panel listened and took notes throughout the hearing so as to ensure they know of all the problems facing the Bronx and Brooklyn students. In an attempt to have each child progress academically, they seek to implement steps that will improve the gifted and talented program. From BronxNet, this is Shanice Powell.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. If you missed any of our stories, make sure to tune in for Open on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. As well as visit us at BronxNet.org and follow us on social media. This is Christina Lane at Christina's Lane. Catch you next time on the Weekend Review.